You could argue that I'm a spoiled little brat when I'm sitting here in this wonderful apartment talking about the future of Europe, or if I should stay or leave. I'm grateful for where I am. I'm living on Madeira Island, an island in Portugal, way out in the Atlantic Ocean, away from everything, basically. But while it's great here, I think it's important to talk about the future of Europe. Because what is the future of Europe? I can't figure it out, or actually I can, but I can't make a decision if Europe is a place to stay going forward. Because my heart wants to stay in Europe, but my brain is telling me, well, this and this and that should actually make you leave. I think the reason why Europe has always been such a sought after place is because you have so much variety on such small square meters. You have how many countries? Is it 40 or 38 or something? Countries with their own languages, their own culture, so much variety, so much, epicness, where it's just an abundance of civilization that you are curious about. What has slowly changed over the last 30 years is that as the EU came in, they have slowly taken away this individual beauty of each country. I think everybody was for EU in the beginning because the idea was that, well, you can move across the borders and that's a beautiful thing. We're all friends, we're brothers, but we keep our differences. And that has been the unique selling proposition of Europe for the longest. But then now, today, EU has just continued taking more and more power and centralizing everything to the point there. We've had the euro for many years now, but they are also making legislation, deciding the rules of all these countries. And suddenly, Europe has gone from this haven of beautiful individual countries to, well, we're just one big country now. Everything they do in EU, in Brussels, everything they do, I disagree with it. Like 100%. There's nothing there's no new law, there's no new rule, there's no new regulation. Nothing they do is something I agree with, because it's just bureaucrats who are making more and more red tape and hoops to jump through. So this has gotten to a point now where you're starting to see also Europe crumbling. If you take Sweden, Sweden is completely destroyed because they have had unlimited immigration without being able to integrate people. And the same we're seeing in Germany, we're seeing it in France, we're seeing it in Portugal, where we are. 1.5 million migrants have come to Portugal the last 5 years, which makes up around 15% of the Portuguese population. And this is the same, in Sweden, in Germany, and not the same in percentages, but it's been that this is one thing, like this. We've been sold this concept of diversity and we are all one. But slowly we've come to realize that, well, that wasn't really the case. It didn't work out the way our politicians sold it. This is just one of many things, because Europe has completely lost its soul. It's gotten to a place where, even if you are in Lisbon or Porto now, it's at a point where you feel unsafe, which is insane considering that it's only like maybe 3 or 4 years since we made videos in Portugal talking about this is the safest country in the world after Iceland, And it's not just migrants, it's not just about this, it's about that nothing is affordable anymore. Inflation is out of control. Large corporations are buying up real estate. And for example, even in Denmark, you have these corporations like BlackRock. They're buying all of the real estate. So while the Danish people, they're suffering and they can't really even get a mortgage unless both the adults have some kind of epic corporate job, then they can get a mortgage. But if you're just like a cleaner and an electrician, forget it, it's not possible. And meanwhile, the prices, they're going up so high because these big funds, they're just buying up everything. So today, to buy something in Denmark is like 1.5 million euros if you want a nice 4-bedroom apartment in Copenhagen. And that's actually in the low end. It's insane how fast this has changed, and we're seeing this coming to Madeira. We're seeing this coming everywhere. What is the future of Europe? How is this going to be in 5 years when things are like this already now? And I want to stay in Europe. I want to stay here. I enjoy being in Europe. I love living here in Madeira. I love it, you know, I love Portugal. And this is not anything against the people of Portugal, and it's not about the people in Europe. It's just about the way Europe is being managed that is just simply destroying everything it used to be. Me and Amalie, we've talked about, you know, what is our future in terms of where to be. And, you know, I just need a piece of land somewhere. That's all I need. A piece of land, I can create what I want to create. But it's gotten to the point now where, you know, in Holland, for example, they've done legislation where it's illegal to grow your own food. You can't have livestock. Like this is what they're doing also in the US. Actually, this is not just EU, but they're making it illegal to cultivate your own food. Somehow, if you grow your own potatoes or you have 2 cows that might fart, then it will destroy planet Earth. Of course, this is ridiculous, but these rules are coming more and more and more here in Europe. And now we have the digital ID that is being sold, especially in the UK, where it's just going to be so convenient. Everything will be so convenient. No, it's not. No, it's not going to be convenient. It's going to just determine your life. And eventually, you know, they will start to look at everything you do because they can. With a digital ID, everything will be tracked, everything you do. And then slowly they'll start to deem you, well, you're doing things we don't agree with. Your carbon credits is off the chart, you know. This is not to be dystopian or negative or anything. This is just to call it as it is. Like, they're pushing the digital ID, but nobody wants it. Like, nobody wants it. What is Europe becoming? Is this a place where you can be free? Or is this a place where you will be increasingly limited in what you can do unless you play the game of, you know, our masters, EU, Brussels? I know that I'm being, you know, negative when I pick up a topic like this, but we have to talk about it. We have to talk about it because what the fuck, man? Just look at people. People are sad. People are miserable. People they have lost joy. They've lost purpose. They've lost sense of meaning. If we don't stop this trajectory of where we're going, then it's going to just end very bad, and nobody would want to have that life that it will become for us. That's why I think it's important that we talk about this and we try to raise the awareness about what's going on, and we talk about what is it actually that will serve us here in Europe. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult because what's the solution? You know, this is the problem with EU, that we have elected people in the countries that we live in Europe, and then the people we elected elect some people who go to EU, and then in the EU they make all these laws, and because we elected the people who elected the people, somehow it's democracy, and everybody agrees that this is for the greater good, that actually unelected people are calling the shots. I mean, come on, it's bullshit. Many people I talk with, they share my opinion about Europe, and it's like Europe, it's not going to be a fun place to be in 5 years or in 10 years or now, already now. I'm lucky to sit here in my ivory tower on Madeira with perpetual sun, but if you live in Duisburg in Germany, you might think otherwise about life. What's scary is that this transition that has been so fast, people are not actually realizing how it's changing their mind, how they slowly, agree to the way things are, even though they would not agree to it just a few years ago. So this like this boiling the frog, we're just being groomed into agreeing with everything. And at some point, this will lead to consequences that are so close to us that we will be, wait, what? No, this is too much, man. So we saw this at the end of C-19 in Austria. People, they were actually going to jail for not doing this. That was scary, because while you are very much entitled to do that, I think that for people who don't want that, that's, shouldn't be pushed upon them. So now we are aware of this, that we were so close to having this, the rule, the law, that you have to do this, otherwise you can't go to work. Then what is next? What are the next wave of rules that are brought upon us in such a way where we will be, okay, there's no freedom left. There's no freedom left. And the funny thing is that it's not just Europe what's going on. It's, of course, it's everywhere. It's Canada, it's US, it's Australia, it's even Asia, It's even Thailand, Vietnam. It's most of the world. But I find that Europe is particularly downhill from here, along with Canada and Australia also. So when I think about places to go, I don't know. I don't know where to go, because where can you go where you get actual freedom? Mauritius, maybe Mauritius. That's like one of few places. But then again, I remember talking with a woman who lived in Mauritius during C-19, and it was not a fun place to be. So this, where to go, and I think this is why I'm going to just stay on Madeira, is that the only place to go is to go within and find freedom within. Because when you continue to move, according to what you don't agree with, then you will just be fleeing for most of your life. And I don't want to do that, because I could move to Mauritius and then they would be like, oh, now you have to do this, and I'll be like, fuck that. Then I'm going to, I don't know, Gibraltar, where my friend lives, and he's like, oh, they can't agree on this new tax regime, so taxes are fucked. Let's go to somewhere else, Portugal. Oh, they removed the NHR. Not that this applies to me, but rules change all the time, so there is no safety anywhere. And that's why within, as hard as it also can be, is the only place to be. And then just try to be good energy, good vibration, do the things you believe are right, and then try to be the change you want to be. I think that is really what my message is here, that we should really be the change we want to be or see. And if enough of us, we are that change, I think we will start to see it. it's just a matter of really, accepting and not ignoring the current reality. Those are my 10 cents on the future of Europe. I'm staying here. Come on, man. It's beautiful.